Awesome, guys. Well, welcome to tonight's team call. Did you just take a picture, Lindsay? Okay, because we gotta like pose for that. Usually I'm like, I see the post and I'm like, oh man, I was all crazy looking. So I'm gonna unmute Lindsay just in case she wants to chime in here. But I'm really excited. Lindsay has been a coach. She's gonna share her story, but she's been a coach for a few years. And it's just been really exciting to watch things click for her and watch her like literally just run and like jump through the ranks. It was like every single week it felt like she was moving on up in stars. She is currently a 4-star diamond coach. I know she is close to 5, 2-time premier, Success Club 5 legend, 6-figure earner, and she's also on the Chicago Market Council. So Lindsay is actually one of Christina Solons's personally sponsored coach. That's how I've gotten to know her. And she was in Vegas. She came to Vegas in the fall for leadership. And she's just an amazing person. And you guys are going to be like so blown away with just her, like with just her energy. And I think you're going to love her just as much as I do. I know you will. And I hope you guys all have a pen and paper so you can take notes. She did a presentation at Coach Camp in Chicago, and it was awesome. She's like, what do you want me to talk about? I'm like, can you just do that same thing? Because I want everybody to hear it. Because it was so good. So I know you're super busy, and I appreciate you being on and taking time. And now that you've nailed the day, you can finish it with a bang on the team call. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn it over to you and let you run with it.
All right, awesome. Thank you. So I'm so excited to be here. It's funny because, to be honest with you, right before I was jumping on the call, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something that I've never done on a call today. I'm not going to tell them a thing about me. I was like, I'm not going to tell them my story because I wonder if that would get the point across more. Like, I'm just an everyday person, just like you, like, no intimidation factor. And the reason I say that is because I remember getting on Christina's calls in the beginning, and Lisa was, just this super successful coach. You guys all know that already. And I was this beginner baby coach, and I was so intimidated. And even just by the accolades at the beginning of any calls, I would spend the rest of the call, because this is who I was then, in my head about, what do they have? What do I need to do? Maybe I need to be more like this. Maybe I need to wear that colored lipstick, or maybe I need to say a joke like that. Like, I would pick it apart, and instead of actually listening to what was being said. But there is a power in our story, and there is a power in knowing where we came from, so that you also don't just think that we arrived where we are and here we are, and this is the knowledge we're going to give you. So I'm excited to share a lot, because it may sound like my journey has been just like, here I am, and I started, and I've seen success, and I earned 6 figures at 2.5 years, and I was able to come home to my kids, and then I'm 2-time premier. And it may just sound like it all just worked out for me, right? Like, I know a lot of things that go through some of my coaches' head, which is, maybe I have a larger warm market than you. Maybe I have more friends, right? Maybe I have better conversation skills. Maybe I have this. But what I want to tell you is that I really just have a lot of personal development, and have made sure that I'm not a collector of information, but I actually implement what I learn. So I'm going to share with you guys today what has made my business completely different. And I'm going to tell you that when I started this business, I probably had these skills because I was a hairstylist for 14 years. So these conversation skills and consultation skills were there. But you guys, I was not a high retailer as a hairstylist. I didn't care if people really purchased the product or not. I loved what I did to their hair, but more than anything, I was an educator of stylists. So I was the educational director at the salon. And before that, I was an Aveda instructor. So I have always, like, my favorite thing about coaching is coaching coaches. My favorite thing about being a hairstylist was teaching stylists. So I never dove deeper into that place. And I figured out in my business when I started struggling a little bit, and I just knew there was something missing, that diving into that part and the person way at the bottom of the totem pole, like the person just starting coming in, not the bottom of the totem pole, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I really needed to put my focus. And that's where I needed to learn how to develop and take them from point A to point B smoothly, being in control of it, but making sure that they understood that they had control in the conversation as well. So I started this business at 25 weeks pregnant. I started this business because I was going through an eating disorder for quite a few years before I became pregnant, one that I never was open about until just a couple years about. So I say that confidently, but it was something my parents just found out about a couple years ago when I was speaking, and it was a shock to everybody. I always had body image issues. I always wanted everyone to like me, and I never felt like I was enough. So I had this struggle that started when I was in college. And basically what happened was I went to Christina Sullen's Turbo Kick class. I just walked in and I went in her class, and she came in and she was kind of cold a little bit. She wasn't really talking to anybody. She didn't say hi. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this class and I'm not going to come back because I am like somebody who's just wants to be welcomed right away. It had nothing to really do with her. It was everything to do with me. But she started that class. And if you guys have ever done a kickboxing, a turbo kick class with her, the minute that she starts, like, you're obsessed with her. You want to be just like her. She lights up the room and everything else is out of your mind. It's gone. And so I had to leave the gym because I wasn't making enough money to be able to take a maternity leave past like 4 weeks with the baby that was growing inside me. And I also, I was going to the gym for that, but I couldn't do that because of paycheck to paycheck, but I couldn't not have her in my life. I couldn't not have that energy in my life, because if I didn't have it, then what was going to happen? I wasn't having the eating disorder now because of my, I was pregnant, but what was going to happen after I had him? How was I going to handle those emotions and getting my body back and feeling confident when I've never even felt that way before? So I reached out to Christina, and long story short, money objection. She says, there's a discount opportunity. Maybe you could earn back. Watch this video. And I'm like, I'm going to watch the video. I'm going to give it 10 minutes. I'm going to tell her I'm not interested. It was midnight. I remember my husband was sitting across the counter from me, and it's midnight. I'm 25 weeks pregnant. He's like, I'm just going to listen for 10 minutes. And 10 minutes in, I'm like, I'm going to listen to this whole thing. And it was an hour. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I just feel like this is what I have to do. So I jumped into this for accountability. I jumped into this for the money opportunity. I jumped into this for freedom. I didn't jump into this because I had did a program before. In fact, I had tried P90X multiple times and not gotten past week 1. I didn't jump into this because I needed friendships, because quite frankly, I'm really bad at phone calls and things. So like, more friends would probably give me more anxiety because I can't keep up with like the ones that I have, right? Like, I didn't need that community. But what I saw there was an opportunity to have more maternity leave with my son 15 weeks from now. She said I could do it. She believed in something in me. She said that I had leadership already because of the position I was at in my salon, and that she could help me. And I said, okay, I'm just going to go all in. So I went all in, and I did hit Success Club every single month. I was a Success Club starter. I earned the summit ticket. I did not go. And about 8 months in, I decided this business wasn't for me anymore, because by this time I had my newborn, and it was hard. It wasn't convenient anymore because I didn't have the time that was just there. I had to make the time, and I didn't have the mindset for that kind of drive at that time. And I didn't know what to do. But Christina, I enrolled one of my good friends, Amanda, and she was like, listen, there's this thing called Coach Camp and we're going. We're going because if you don't want to do the business, I'm going to do the business and I'm enrolled under you. And I said, I didn't say I didn't want to do it, right? I just don't know where I'm at. Long story short, I went into Coach Camp. We sat on the ground. The diamonds came in. They were all dressed in like these socks and dancing all around, like socks and tutus. I don't even know, but it was fun. Now, I would have had a nervous breakdown had somebody made me do that at that moment in my life. I almost did this time, dancing down there. But what I noticed was that it was fun. And then she recognized someone that day. She recognized someone for hitting Success Club in their business and starting off their business like a rock star. And in my head, I'm like, it's me. It's me. It has to be me because I did so great. And it wasn't me. And I realized in that moment, it wasn't me because I didn't deserve it. I wasn't showing up. I was hitting Success Club because I was enrolling people who were inspired by the fact that I was pregnant and doing this and then, just had a newborn and doing this. I was hitting Success Club, but I wasn't doing it. I wasn't even there. There was just something missing and she knew it. So she didn't recognize me and that was the best thing she could have ever done. So I jumped all in from there and I'm not going to give you the rest of it, but it goes up and it goes down. I know that she said, I'm going to do a push to diamond. The first person to diamond wins an iPad. I don't have a lot of money. I didn't think I'd ever get an iPad at that point, right? We were paycheck to paycheck. I'm like, I need an iPad. So I just put my head down and I did what she told me to do all along. I did action hour or power hour, whatever you want to call it, for 1 week, the way she told me to do it. I didn't complicate it. I kept it simple. I kept it about my journey, taking care of me, sharing it, and inviting. And then I did something a little different and I dove into the conversation process a little more. And in 1 week, I hit diamond. Now, granted, I did have it set up where I was pretty close already, but it lit a fire under me and it showed me that I could do it and that something I did in that week was different and it changed the course of my business. And what was it? So I was able to go part-time that year. A year later, I was able to retire with a 6-figure earning business, which was mind-blowing to me. My life completely changed and it was amazing. And we hit Premier a couple years later. Last year, I had another baby and he flipped my world upside down. He's wonderful. He's quite the spitfire. And then this year, our team hit Premier again. And it's crazy because the 2 years that we hit Premier were 2 of the hardest years of my life. And when I look at it, you guys, when I really look at what I did to keep going in those 2 years, and I was thinking about this earlier, I kept it simple. I made sure that I was taking care of me first, that I was sharing it on social media, even if I was telling everyone I'm struggling with postpartum depression right now. Even if that was my story that day, I was sharing it. I was taking care of me first. And I was constantly inviting people to join me. And I kept it simple, right? I had those goals of always hitting Success Club, always running a challenge group, and I just kept going. And I had my team help me because I couldn't do it alone. And in those years are the years that we really grew. So that is a little bit of my story. And we're going to jump right into then where things really changed in my business. For a long time, and in fact, I've spoken 2 other times at Coach Camp. This was my 3rd time. The second time I spoke at Coach Camp, I was talking about inviting. And at that point in my business, we were doing really well. We had hit Premier that year, but it wasn't like a fast growing phase. And I didn't know why, but I do now. And it was because I led with fear. And I told everybody that I was fearful of inviting until it was the right moment. How many of you feel that way? How many of you wait until somebody says they would like a little bit more money, or maybe they say they'd like to lose a little weight, or they say they need community, or they say, hey, what are you doing? You wait for that in because you don't want to be the person that's pushing inward when so many network marketers these days are, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's coming from a good place and that's normal. So I just lost my train of thought because I am listening downstairs and they're playing pots and pans as drums to keep the baby entertained because he's extremely a mama's boy. But anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, I talked about inviting. And I stood up on the stage and I said, I'm not going to tell any of you that you need to invite a certain amount of people a day, because you're going to know when the right time is. And I'm going to say that I wasn't wrong then, because I still think that there's those people that you do have to do the process that way with, because of the person that they are and the relationship you have. But it's absolutely okay to see something in someone else and be excited and invite right from the get-go. And what really changed in my business was when I started realizing that our business is inviting, right? But everybody's scared of it. So how do we get past that? And I had to really start thinking about it. And then I asked this question at Coach Camp. How many of you actually think that your fear is inviting? Anyone? No? Have you guys heard this before? So it's not inviting. We can send out invites all day and be fine. But the minute that little green light comes, or that little thing that shows us they've seen it shows up, our hearts start pumping, because what are they going to say? What comes after the invite, right? Are they going to have questions that I can't answer? Are they going to say yes? Are they going to say no? Like, what am I going to have to overcome in this conversation? Do I have time to have that conversation right now? Am I enough to help them? Will they believe me? Right? Am I far enough on my journey to be able to do this? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes, 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 yes. You're the perfect person because you're having that conversation right then with them. This is your opportunity, that it's there for a reason. The answer is yes, because you're a human and they're a human. And the beautiful thing about humans is that we can have amazing conversations. And that's what you have to get down in your business. So I'm going to share my screen here, quite possibly. Hold on a second. And let me get rid of this. There we go. And just kind of take you through the presentation from Coach Camp. Now, some of you may have heard this, so feel free to throw questions in the chat as we go, and I can answer some. Where are you? There you are. Okay. Don't look at my hot mess of a background. And I am like, oopsies. I'm weird. I don't like to make my screen big because then I can't see you guys, and I really enjoy seeing your guys' face as I present. So I just make this like this and hope that you can see it okay. Unless you guys really want me to make it bigger, just let me know. Okay, can you see that? Or do I need to make it a little bigger? Oh, there we go. That's bigger. That's better. Okay. All right. So the art of conversation, and I call it an art because it really is, you guys. It's really like the flowing with everything and going through the process with them. And my objective for you guys at the end of this is to really make sure that you know how to be able to have the conversation process with confidence, right? Be in control of it. You want to be in control of it, but while making it about them and looking forward to this process rather than fear it. We have to make it about them. And so often we know what we have to offer. We know how amazing it's going to be in their life and whoever else we have the opportunity to offer this to. So we often want to get to the end and just get it in their hands and get them excited, but they don't feel all of that yet. So that's why it's having this process, being confident, but letting them have a little bit of control too, and maintaining and guiding that through the way. So the very first thing that you guys want to keep in focus as you're having conversations is to be an active listener. I have a lot of people that share conversations with me, and I love them. I love them so much, but I have to say to them often, you're not listening, you're just talking, and you're losing. When you're talking, if you're talking more than them, a lot more than them, right? If you're answering their questions, that's one thing. But if you're just getting that into that word vomit phase, right? You're just giving them, you're doing all the talking, then you're losing them. So you want to be an active listener while allowing them to be an active participant in the process. That means that at any time they may change the subject and share something with you. That's your opportunity to connect with them more, and you need to be open to having that happen. For instance, today I was just I have a new coach that's enrolling, and we're talking, and we're almost to the part where I'm sending over the cart, and then she says something about being a mom of 3, and she starts talking about the way her baby's sleeping at night. And all I want to do is be like, all right, let's just get that cart your way and then we can have this conversation, right? But no, because this is my opportunity now to hear her and connect with her more. She's going to be more excited to join me. This is where I need to listen. So it's not just listening about what they're telling you they need here, but it's listening in general, not ignoring the small things they say along the way, because they are confiding in you and they're trusting you. They're going to join you and they're going to do things with you when they know, like, and trust you. So this is part of the process. So if you are allowing them to be an active participant in the process, your hope for the end result, the minute that they say yes, they're interested, and you start going through this conversation process with them, hold on, I want to make sure that it's not one of you. Oh, okay. The minute that this starts, your end result, your hope for that end result, it can be there, but it can't be a push, right? It can't be, I'm selling a challenge pack no matter what. That has to go out the window. You have to listen to them. You have to relate to them. And most importantly, you're making sure that you're only answering questions that they have asked, right? So if they ask if Shakeology does this for you, hey, is it a meal replacement? Yes, it's a meal replacement. And da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You're losing. Yeah, it's a meal replacement. It's awesome. Have you ever tried something like that before? Right? You're going to ask them a question. You want to listen. You want to listen to them and kind of move the conversation forward from there. So you're paying full attention. You're summarizing what they're saying. You're reflecting on their feelings, and you're paraphrasing. The conversation process formula and what it kind of looks like. I completely made this up, and I felt super cool when I did. I don't know why. There we go. But number 1, you're sending the invite. Okay. A lot of people in the United Coach collaborations, I polled them and asked them what they would like to learn at Coach Camp on this topic. And a lot of them said, a lot of people, I just don't know when to change the conversation from inviting or talking to inviting. And I know that because I shared with you that I struggled with that before. I waited for that perfect opportunity that they said something and I had this ding, 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 I have the solution, right? But that is so complicating it. And the only thing I'm going to say about inviting on here is that you can switch it to an invite anytime, as much as if you're on the phone with your friend and you're talking about something and you're about to hang up or whatever. And you say, oh, I just wanted to let you know, save the date if you're interested for March 11th, because we're going to have everyone over and we're going to watch The Bachelor, and it's going to be a bunch of girls and we're all going to bring a bottle of wine and it's going to be a lot of fun. Are you available that day? I didn't have to know if she liked The Bachelor, know if she liked wine, know if what kind of food she liked. I didn't need to know all of that to be able to invite her to this, right? And that's how it is in this business too. We complicate it by making it think that we need that. If you have the relationship with them, then it's easy to switch that, okay? So don't complicate that. Number 2 is receiving interest. When you guys receive interest in the conversation process where they're like, sure, tell me what it's about, or, well, what is it, right? Any sort of looking for more, this is permission to dive deeper with them. Please do not hesitate to ask people questions. It is your job, quote unquote job, to know that what you're recommending everyone is for them. So in the invite situation, you don't need to know that what you're inviting them to is perfect for them, because they're going to tell you yes or no. You don't need to know that then. You don't need to complicate it then. But the minute you get interest from them, you absolutely need to know a lot about them before you can say, okay, great, we're all going to do, the Transform 20 and Shakeology, so I'll send a cart your way. You don't know, do they have wrist surgery? Are they able to do all those push-ups? I had somebody, this just happened, that's why it's in my head. She had wrist surgery and I didn't know, and she joined our Transform 20 group, and I apparently didn't ask enough questions with her. It still happens, it's fine. We're figuring out another program for her, but you have to, once you receive interest, this is permission for you to dive deeper. I always say, if you were to go to a doctor's office and you walk in and let's say you've been having indigestion or stomach cramps or your foot hurts, and the doctor just says, I'm going to give you painkillers and this antibiotic, and they haven't asked anything, checked anything, right? You're going to be like, well, what for? How do you know I need that? You're not connected to it. You're going to feel weird. But the minute that you say, okay, I'm just going to ask you a few questions so that I know if this is right for you or not, right? No one's going to be put off by the questions unless they're really not interested. And if they're put off by the questions and they're not interested, then don't go through the process with them. That's okay. You can end it. You can say, you can move on, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. The consultation, this is the meat of your conversation process. So what we're going to talk about, recommending and educating them, providing third-party tools. Third-party tools are very important. This is when they say they're interested in Shakeology, so you send them a Shakeology video. They say that they're interested in the business, so you invite them to a sneak peek, right? It's that third-party tool is social proof, even if it's a video, even if it's a video of you. It's social proof that more people want that information. There was a demand for it, so there is a video for it. There's social proof, and there's other excitement if it's in a group and things like that. And it also simplifies it, because if I'm sitting here, let's say that I recorded this video earlier and I had no one that I was looking at, no one was in my house, I was 100% doing this video, it'd go different and probably a lot more focused than right now when I can hear my kids banging around down there and I'm looking at your guys' faces, right? It's going to be a little bit more distracted now, and maybe I won't get my point across in certain ways as I had hoped. Does that make sense? So when you do a third-party tool, that third-party tool, there's no distractions. It's 100% giving them the best of the information in a detailed but not extensive way. It is, even if it's just you, right? Even if it's just you explaining Shakeology or whatever it is, a third-party tool is very important. Scheduling the follow-up, doing the follow-up, asking for the sale, which we absolutely have to do in our business, closing, or overcoming objections, and repeating steps 5 through 8. So we're going to jump right into the conversation process. I saw some chats, but let me see. I think it's just my computer's being a little bit weird. Can you guys hear me okay? As long as the chat, okay.
We're just cheering you on in the chat. We're like, yeah, I love that. Go, Lindsey.
Okay.
This is awesome. I love this.
Okay.
I hope everyone's getting good notes because it's awesome stuff.
Okay, good. All right, so the conversation process. In the conversation process, you guys, this is where you're asking open-ended questions. This is what I used as the example at Coach Camp. If my husband comes home and I'm really talkative and I feel like talking, I'm going to ask him, tell me what you did at work today, right? Who did you go to lunch with? What did you have? I want him to elaborate. I'm looking for a conversation. If I say, how was work? Good. Okay, bye. If I don't want to talk, right? I'm not getting information. So that's how you know the difference. That's how I know the difference between an open and a closed-ended question. So you're asking open-ended questions because you want to get as much information out of people in a short amount, in a few questions. And I have some sheets that I'll share with you guys that are my typical ones, but I usually only have to ask a few questions. And the first one usually is, tell me what you're doing for fitness right now, what you love and what you struggle with. And then the same thing with nutrition. How's your nutrition right now? And what are you struggling with? If I ask those questions, there's 5 right there, I usually have everything I need. Okay, so you're going to use verbiage when you're talking to people in the conversation process that's not intimidating and that they understand. So people don't know what a challenge pack is and people don't know what a challenge group is. So what sounds good to you? Because for me, when I say virtual boot camp or virtual accountability group, or I'm going to set you up with a wellness pack, that sounds better for me speaking with people. And I think that they can understand that a little bit better. So in your posts, even make sure that what you're saying, it's like somebody said this on a wake-up call before. It's like you're talking to an 8-year-old, not because they're dumb, not that 8-year-olds are dumb, not that they're at that level, but because we can't assume they understand anything of what we're saying. And if we're saying we're going to get you set up with a challenge pack and you'll join our challenge group and we're all going to log into the challenge tracker app, they're like, whoa, challenge, challenge, challenge. I don't even know what she's saying. This might be too much for me. So make sure that the verbiage that you're using isn't intimidating. Focus on the area of their biggest concern first. So if they're coming to you for nutrition and you flip and start talking about fitness and start trying to get them into the Transform 20 test group or the new 21-day fix test group, when really maybe you should be talking about Shakeology or the Ultimate Portion Fix, right? Because they came to you about nutrition, you're going to lose them. You have to listen, talk to them about their biggest area of concern first, and identify the key information by getting permission to ask some questions. And I did say that them giving you interest is permission, but I always, after I ask those first few questions, if I have to ask more than 4 or 5 questions, then I ask for that permission again. You know what? I don't want to pry, but I just want to make sure that what I'm recommending to you is beneficial and something that you could use. So do you mind if I ask you a few more questions? No one ever says no, but then it doesn't feel weird, right? Because I know a lot of my coaches are like, I just don't want to ask people so many questions. So before we move forward, a lot of you are going to say, well, before I can even get into the conversation process, cost comes up. What do I say then? And that's fine. I'm the same way. If people come and they want to talk to me about lashes or makeup and all of this, like, well, how much is it? Right? But when I see the before and afters on their Facebook, and I see that they say that it's natural and it's paraben free and whatever, well, now I'm like, okay, I'm not really too tell me more about that first, right? And they're whatever. I don't know if that kind of makes sense to you, but knowing the value of something and that it's for them, the cost is always going to come up if they don't know what it is that you're talking about, if they don't have that same excitement that you have, and they won't because they don't know yet. So when cost comes up at this point, you guys, I always just say, and this is important, and I'm going to point out what's important as I read this. It actually ranges based on what is right for you. The way this is set up is that I can actually put your wellness package together for you and choose what is right for you and what is not. So at this time, I don't have enough information of what you need, and I do not need, or what you need and what you do not need to really give you an accurate number. Do you mind if I ask you a couple more questions? They know right now that they didn't get an answer from me. They have no idea what the cost is. However, they can see in the way that I'm wording that, I'm not sure. I don't have enough information about what you need and what you don't need. They can see that I have their back. I'm not trying to get them to buy the mega pack right now. I might be if that's what they need, but I don't know that yet, right? Now, most people at this point want to move forward. There are the few that are like, just tell me some sort of number. And at that point, I would just say something like, well, based on what we've talked about so far, you fall in an investment ranging from $70 to $220. But like I said, I need to know some more information first so that we know what you do not need and what you do, and we can get you the best deal. People want to know that you're looking out for them to give them the best deal and that you're listening to what they actually need. They don't want to waste their money. They're willing to spend their money. Don't let that fool you. People make a decent buck these days and are living paycheck to paycheck. And it's because we have a lack of budget. We have a lack of budget for our money, and we have a lack of budget for our time. They have the money. They just want to know if it's worth it to spend, okay? This is an example of a consultation question sheet. I actually put it in the United Coach Collaboration, but I can send the documents so you guys can put them in your page too if some of you aren't in the United Coach Collaboration. Is everyone in there? I think. Yeah, so this is in there already. So those are just some extra consultation questions I would go through. So as you're going through and you're asking these questions, you get to the point where you're going to start recommending and educating. And the reason I say that is because you guys, education is key. You can't recommend something and not know why you're explaining or why you're recommending it to them. In fact, if you don't know why you're recommending it to them, then you shouldn't be recommending it. And really, I can't even believe this. I never thought this would happen, but there came a day where I was on a phone call with a girl who would make a killer coach. Oh my gosh, I wanted her on my team so bad for so long. And at the end of the conversation, I said, Jessie, I love you and I want you to be a coach so bad. But you're right. it's not going to fill the need right now. And she had just started a really great job somewhere else. She was going through some other stuff. She had to have surgery. It was all this stuff in her mental health. She needed to get her under control a little bit more. And I had to be honest and say, I can't recommend you coaching right now. If you want to, I'm not going to say no, but I think we should just work on, like, you know, come in as a discount, of course, and let's work on you. And little did she know that working on her, she did come in as a discount. She worked on her and she did hit Success Club and she did naturally start building a small business. But you know, that's what I'm saying is, like, you have to meet them where they're at and recommend what is right for them. So the key is you only recommend when you're sure what's right for them and why. And if you're questioning what's right for them, then you don't have enough information. You have to know their options. It's your business. And that's a tough one because it's my business to know everything about the Ultimate Portion Fix right now. And I didn't start really diving into it until the last few days because I couldn't even, like, clean my house. I was going through some stuff in my head. And, you know, it's our business. It's our business to know what is right for people and to dive in and not to just rely on Christina or Lisa or whoever to tell us what's going on in our business. We need to go and understand it for ourselves as well. So at this point, you're focusing only on what they're searching for a solution to and what they're excited about. So you are focusing on what they need. Even if you know at the end of it, you're going to recommend a challenge pack because you know that fitness is going to go with it, or the nutrition part's going to go with it, you still are only focusing on that, what they need. Okay. So it's your chance to educate them. And I always say this, I will not let anyone leave a conversation with me without being educated properly on if this business is or is not a pyramid scheme. Okay. If this shake is or is not just a protein drink and overpriced, I will educate them and tell them why I don't believe what they're saying is correct or why I believe differently. And I won't leave a conversation without educating them because I truly believe that that could be the only chance this person gets to be properly educated. They may be closed and not allow anyone else to explain the solutions we have to them again. And I think it's my responsibility as a coach when I stepped into this to make sure that I took everyone seriously. And even if they still say no, I need to do my job in educating them. So explain the recommendations briefly using 1 or 2 sentences and relating to why it's perfect for them. So this is important. Write this down. I learned this in cosmetology, but I use it to this day. Okay. The important things here are because you said blank, I highly recommend blank because it's going to give you blank, or because blank. So you are letting them know that they're heard and that this is for them. Right? Because you said that you want to work out 4 to 5 days a week and you want a mixture of cardio and weights, I highly recommend Lift 4 because it's only 4 days a week. It has both components and you are going to love it. Don't forget to put some personality in there. Don't just be like talking about the product or whatever. Don't be robotic. Put some energy in there. Okay. So, and you are going to love it. It's my favorite program and I got amazing results. Have you heard of it before? Hi. Does Dad know you're up here? So you are saying because you said, I highly recommend because blank. Okay. Listen and be excited when they respond. Ask to send the third-party tools. This is their social proof. Send the third-party tool and schedule the follow-up. And then you guys, please make sure that you're tracking. If you're not tracking your business, you probably are losing up on some follow-ups and some things that are really, really important. It doesn't need to be fancy. Take pen to paper. Use one-page CRM, which Amanda rolled out to our team, and it's amazing. Use Teamsy. Use a spreadsheet. Just track. Just write it down. Use the note section of your phone. Just track who you're talking to and inviting so that you can stay on top of that. And then an example of what I would say at the end of this would be awesome. Okay, so here's a short video describing what it is. I'm going to run some errands because I'm a real life person, right? I'm going to run some errands, but I'll be back in my inbox again tonight and I can check on you then and see what you liked about the video. Will you have watched it by then? So I'm letting her know, like, I'm not sitting here waiting for you to watch the video. And because how many times when people approach you about things, do you feel like they're just waiting for you to come back and give them an answer, right? So I let them know, like, you're off the hook. I'm going to go run some errands. I'm going to go see what my 5-year-old's is up to. I'm going to go do whatever. I'll be back in my inbox tonight and I'm going to message you then. Hold on. Okay. So you're telling them, hold on. Hey, Owen, this is important. I'm going to do this right now. You can color up here, but I got to do this phone call.
Mommy,
yes.
where's my sugar?
I'm not sure. I'll find it in a few minutes. Okay. Thank you. Why don't you go back out there? Go down with Dad and Oliver. Thank you. So I'm going to run some errands, but I'll be back in my inbox again tonight. Right. And I can check on you then and see what you liked about the video. So they know I'm coming tonight to check on them. And I'm going to just ask them what they liked. They know what to expect, right? And will you have watched it by then? This gives them the opportunity to tell me, I'm super busy. My kids are crazy with things tonight. We have basketball and this and that. How about tomorrow night? Perfect. I'll check on you tomorrow. Either way, we both know when we're talking again, and we both know that it's nothing that's any pressure. I'm just asking what they liked about the video. And it's important when you do follow up that you ask what they liked. Because if you say, what did you think? Which I think a lot of us just naturally say, hey, what'd you think? The very first thing anyone's going to do is tell you what they didn't like. The very first thing they're going to do is negative Nancy is going to walk in there and she's going to say, well, how much is it? The questions are going to start coming. It's basically an open door for everything that you probably aren't ready to talk about with them yet. So you always start the conversation asking a specific question that you want to talk about and you want to leverage, which is, what did you like? Okay. All right. The follow-up. I don't know why I can't see the chat. It's so weird. But okay. I was going to see if there were any questions yet, but I'll just get them at the end. So the follow-up, you guys, it's super important that you follow up when you say you do, even if they are ignoring you, because that gains trust, even if their answer is still no. And even if they don't respond, the person who I was enrolling today as a coach, I asked her to join as a coach over a year ago, like a year and a half ago. And at one point she did stop responding to me. And today she came to me and said, or yesterday, hey, I'm ready to do this coach thing. Oh, okay. But had I not built the trust up with her, right? There's certain things that I think I did that probably let her know I was reliable when she was ready. So when you follow up, you want to make sure that you do so when you say you're going to. And then if you follow up and they have not seen the message, you're still going to message them. How many see that it's still just the blue check mark and they're like, oh, I'll check back tomorrow, right? Well, you told them you were going to check in on them tonight. So you should stick to your word, because if they join you and they need accountability and you said you're going to check on them tonight, but you didn't, even though they didn't see the message, some people, they could think of this stuff. I know some of my customers want daily check-ins. They need that. Some people need that. So I would say something like, hey, Jackie, I noticed you haven't seen the message, so I'm assuming you haven't watched the video yet. I just wanted to stay true to my word and check in on you. I'm assuming you got busy, so I'll check back again tomorrow evening, right? I'm staying true to my word. I assume you got busy. I'm going to check in on you tomorrow evening. I'm letting her know I'm coming back and when, and I can't wait to hear what you think. I should have put there what you like. Let's say they've seen the message and they have not responded. So they saw it. They haven't said anything yet. Hey, Jackie, I saw that you saw the message and I'm sure that you're busy, but I just wanted to drop in like I said I would, right? So I always let people know, like, I'm doing what I said I would, right? Look at me, I'm being a good friend, because it just reminds them that you're there for them and you're taking care of them. So I'm dropping in like I said I would, and to see how you like the video. Did you get a chance to watch it? It doesn't hurt to also put some personal comments in here too. Like, also, I saw you went to the zoo with your kid today. Hope you guys had fun. It looked like a beautiful day. As long as it's not forced. It doesn't need to be there, but it doesn't hurt if you have something to actually say there that can kind of connect you a little bit more as well. If they say it doesn't look like it's for them, right? You follow up and they've already responded to you before you could get there, and they say, doesn't look like it's for me. Hey, Jackie, wow, I'm shocked. I thought for sure you would love it. It's okay. We have some other options, right? They're just saying no to what you said, what you are following up on, but you have other options. Can you tell me a little bit about what you didn't like about it and maybe what you wish was different? And the key there is what you wish was different. Because when they tell you what they wish was different, chances are we have a solution for that, right? And you can start this process again. When they say they've watched it and they liked it, a lot of people get stuck here. It's a little nerve-wracking. You don't want to ruin it, right? So you say, awesome, I'm so excited. I knew you would. Okay, so just to gauge where you're at on this on a scale of 1 to 10, because just because they said they like it doesn't mean they're ready to have the share cart all the time. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're not ready at all, 10 being let's do this, where are you in being ready to jump in and why? They're going to give you a number and they're going to tell you why, and there's your overcoming objection process starting there. Anything less than a 10, you're overcoming those. We're not going to talk about those. We're going to jump to the next piece because overcoming objections is like a whole other training. But I do have in the United Coach Collaboration, I gave objection keys. So you guys can see those in there. And I can touch on a couple if you guys need me to. So the follow-up to the follow-up, right? You followed up. There was some conversation. There's typically another follow-up involved. When you do that, you follow up and they say that they still haven't had time to watch, you're going to give them solutions. So what you have to do, you guys, is pay attention. Make sure that, let me say this, and this is important. Make sure that you're in your inbox when you can completely focus on who you're talking to. Because if you're just jumping in because you're at a red light, put that phone down. If you're just jumping in because your kid's going to the bathroom and you're waiting to help him get out of the bathroom, you have 4 minutes, you don't know how long you have, you don't know if you can actually read into what they're saying and give them a good response. It could be hurried. Schedule your time in your inbox and be there and be present when you're in. It could be a 10-minute scheduled in time. That's fine. And you might just get through a few conversations. That's fine. But you just want to make sure that you're looking into this, because when someone tells me they haven't had time to watch yet, it's not, okay, I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow. It's, okay, it's been a day or two and it seems like maybe they have a time management issue, right? And I'm not going to say that to them, but something's going on. I'm going to offer her solutions, because I remember when Christina told me to listen to the video, I thought I had to sit and watch her talk the whole time. But she let me know I could listen while I was doing dishes, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes it easier. So I would say, hey, I totally get that. Time is crazy for us all. It's literally 3 minutes and I know you're going to love it. So I'm putting a little bit of that fear of missing out in there. I know you're going to love it. So try to pop it on while you're cooking dinner, folding laundry or something, and prepare to be inspired. I'll check back on you tomorrow night, but feel free to message me after you watch it, as I know you're going to be excited and want to jump in. Chat soon. I'm confident. I'm reminding her she's going to love it. I'm telling her you can come to me first because I know you're going to be excited, right? And I'm giving her opportunities of letting her know when she could watch it. After a second follow-up, if there's no response, close the conversation. Just do yourself a favor and close the conversation. I say this all the time, and my family knows it and everyone knows it. I will be the person to address the elephant in the room. I love it. I need that elephant out of there. I'm so uncomfortable. I need to just talk about it. I'd rather talk about it and move on, right? Because if you don't follow up and close this conversation, what if you see this person at the grocery store? They're going to feel like they have to hide, or it's going to be awkward, or what if, whatever the situation is. I just find that closing the conversation actually increases their trust in me, even if they're not responding to me, because I'm still following through. And if they're not responding, it's not about me anyway, it's about them, right? So, hey, Jackie, I just wanted to touch base. It seems like you got really busy and I do not want to keep popping up in your inbox. So if you're not ready. So I'm going to put it on my calendar, or I'll put you on my calendar to check in within a month or two, and we can chat then. Does that sound good? I hope all is well. And off you go, right? But that's not, often if we leave it just kind of out there in the air, they know it's awkward. We know it's awkward. When you close the conversation, they have more of a chance of also coming back and being like, wait, no, I do want to talk about this. I was just busy and this is what I'm interested in. So I know you guys, your team calls, probably a lot of people's team calls go 30 minutes. Mine always go an hour. I'm so sorry if I'm keeping you guys past what you're used to. Plus with this presentation, it's a little bit longer, but we're almost through it. The next is asking for the sale. So you guys have to close the sale. You're in charge of directing it, and it's your responsibility to close it. So examples of what to say to close, depending on the person, I'd use one of these three things. The scale of 1 to 10, which we already talked about. Number 2 would be, all right, I'm so excited for you. Are you ready to do this? Number 3 would be, all right, girl, I'm setting up your wellness pack right now. Shoot me your email. Let's decide on your Shakeology flavor. What's your favorite sweet treat? So it depends on who I'm talking to, but no matter, it's like the other 2 would be the people that I'm confident they're already at a 10, let's go. And then that number 1 is more like, okay, they're ready, but I'm not sure. Are they a 9 ready, or are they a 10? Like, where are they? So you ask. If you don't know, you ask. I use one of these depending on the person. Yes, I said that. Perfect. The almost close. So there is something, the almost close, because now we've gone through all this and we know they're a 10, right? But remember in the beginning, I said that you're only focusing on the part that they're concerned about. And maybe sometimes it's both and you're at the end and they wanted to talk about nutrition and health, nutrition and fitness. But a lot of times it's just one thing that they're really coming to you for first. And then the second one is kind of like secondary. So at this point, if you haven't talked about that next side of things for them, which go hand in hand, this is where you'd bring it up. So I would say, okay, Jackie, so I have you ready to go with the on-demand. We're jumping into lift 4, which is so exciting, but I do have to ask you one last question. How are things going nutritionally for you, and what do you struggle with? Because we've nailed it down that lift 4 is perfect for her. She wants 4 days a week. She wants cardio and weights, right? But there's a whole other aspect of this that's going to give her the results she wants. And now I have permission to ask her about that, because if I would have asked before, lift 4 wasn't in her hand as a solid solution in hers. But we've just established she's at a 10. We've established she's ready to go. She's excited. Lift 4 is hers, no matter what. On demand, she's in. But hold on. How are things nutritionally for you, and what do you struggle with, right? Or vice versa. Okay, Emily. So now we know that Shakeology is completely perfect for you, and I'm super excited for you to jump in with it. You guys can see I'm always excited for people, right? Can I ask really quick, since I know your goals and what it's going to take to get there, what will you be doing for fitness? Because sometimes people come to you for just a quick solution as Shakeology. They need something that they can grab because they struggle eating breakfast, or they need help with digestion, or whatever it is. But we know there's another component, and this is where you ask. That is the almost close. So you'll go through the process with the other piece to their solution, and then put together their wellness package based on their needs. So at the end of the day, if they go to the gym or Orange Theory or CrossFit and they love it and they only want Shakeology, that's okay. I get a lot of coaches that like kind of talk bad about like, oh, she goes to Orange Theory, or oh, she goes to CrossFit. Doesn't she know? And maybe she does know that these solutions are awesome, but it's just not a need right now. And maybe it will be soon. But you guys, this world is suffering with so many sick people that we just need to be excited when people have found solutions, even if it's not the one that we have, because it wasn't my solution until I was pregnant. I went to the gym and I loved the gym, and I would have never saw at-home fitness as my solution until I found the need for it. But Christina loved me where I was. She loved me when I went to the gym, and then had the solution when I needed it, right? So make sure that you're happy with people. You do the education, you do the recommendation, but at the end of the day, as long as you've done your part on educating the best to your ability, then it's okay wherever they land. Verbiage to upsell and add on. These are just quick things of what I say. If somebody is getting on demand, I'll say, okay, we talked a little bit about Shakeology. I know you're not really maybe quite sure if it's for you or whatever. Shakeology can be added to your pack today for half off, which is crazy because it's never on sale, right? And if we haven't talked about it yet, I'll ask, have you heard of this before, and what do you struggle with nutritionally? But I'm telling them, people want a deal. With what you're already paying for, you're going to get Shakeology for half off. Right? I might even say there's a bottom of the bag guarantee. This is going to increase your results. And if you're not happy, you can return it, no problem. But I think this is going to be key in your results. Okay. On the flip side, you can get an entire year of on-demand for only $30 by adding it to your wellness package today with your Shakeology. And that's an unheard of price. It's normally $99. I know nutrition was your concern, but what will you be doing for fitness? Right? So these are just different ways that you can talk about it as you're upselling. Talking about the 30-day money-back guarantee and the bottom of the bag guarantee really helps people, It also helps if they're saying, well, maybe I just want to try a sample first. Okay, you can get, I just told somebody this today too. You can get the sampler. Absolutely. I'll sell you the sampler, but you're going to be wasting your money because you're going to get one flavor of each one. You're going to love one or two of them or whatever. And then you're going to go buy it when all along we could just have a real conversation about which one you should start with. And you could even get a box of 2 or 3, but then you have the month, right? You're going to love it. You're not wasting money for the sampler. I would just add it on right now, right? You have that real conversation. I want to save money. I would want someone to give me those options. So make sure that you're giving people the options and just let them know that you're looking out for them and why you're giving them those options. The close. So you know you're exactly what is going on in their wellness package. You're excited. They're excited. You have their email, their Shakeology flavor based on their favorite sweet treat, and you are ready to send them the email and the share cart link. I always give them the link too because some people can't find the email in their wherever it goes. Sometimes it just disappears for people. So always give them that link. And this is often when the cost comes up again. But here's the kicker, and people ask me this all the time. I rarely talk about cost. If I've gotten this far and we haven't talked about cost yet, it is super rare that cost comes up again until they see it in the share cart. They don't ask what is it, because they are so connected to why this solution is for them, and they feel like they're getting such a great deal and they're so excited, and our conversation has been so thorough. And it doesn't mean that it had to take a long time. I'm just saying it's so tailored to what they need, and that excitement is there about them and their life and what they're going to see, that they don't ever bring it up. And if they don't bring it up, then I don't. I send them the share cart. Half the time they complete it. And they say, okay, I always tell them, once you complete it, let me know. They complete it and they come back and say it's completed, and we never talked about it. Sometimes people come back and say, okay, that's a little bit too much, and I just don't think I'll be able to do that right now. And then I can say, all right, well, what would you be able to do? Let's talk about this. Maybe let's start a different way. But most of the time, if they know that this is for them and you've had this conversation, you're going to close your share carts, like 100% of them, without much pushback. You're not going to get the share carts that aren't filled. People, when I send a share cart, they fill them out right then typically, because that's, this is for them. It's in their hand. They want it. They can't wait till it gets there. 5 to 7 business days is way too long, right? So if it does, I just lay it out for them visually and tell them what it'll cost and what they're getting for it. So you guys have probably seen this in some groups that we've done, but okay, so let's break it down like the flash sale. If you guys have seen a flash sale, we lay out exactly what's in there. So I'm going to break this down so you can see the value of what you're getting. The Year of Beachbody Demand is $99 by itself. Shakeology alone is $4 a shake. This is how I talk. Please talk how you talk. I really say bucks, and I never noticed how much I said it until I did this presentation. Shakeology alone is $4 a shake, which is $130 for 30 meals. I like to call them meals. People need to realize that what they're getting is a meal, whether they choose it as a snack or a meal. It's replacing something that they're already having. So $130 for 30 meals, and then the Lift 4 accessory bundle is $60. If you're getting all of this for $180. It's a total steal. I can't wait to see your results. I'm going to get the share cart ready, and I'll be back with your personal link to order. Sound good? So I always assume it's fine. I'm excited. I can't wait to see their results. I'll go get the link. They can tell me no. They can absolutely tell me no at this time. That's just not going to work. It's too much. Even though I see the value, it's just not going to work. They can tell me no. But I'm that friend that you took to the mall that's helping you buy the extra sweater that you don't need because it looks really good on you. And you're not going to regret getting the sweater. You just need a little extra, you need that. You know what I mean? So that's who I like to be for people. I like to be the person that's cheering them on, that's teaching them that it's okay to invest in them, that's excited for them that they're finally doing this for them and that they're going to feel good, right? So you can be that for people, and people need that. The close, no matter what, I'm so sorry that I'm keeping you guys late. No matter what, at this point, if there's a cost objection or not, I'm offering the discount opportunity. I told you that I was brought into this for the business, and I lead with the business 100% of the time. pretty much. There's a rare occasion I don't, but for the most part, I always offer this at the end. So if there's an objection to the money still, I'm going to say, I totally understand the way you're feeling, right? I felt found. I felt that same way too when I started, but what I found was that I quickly got results. I felt better, and I couldn't put a price tag on what I got in return. That's why I became a coach at the same time, actually, because I decided that if I was going to get results, I might as well earn my costs back instead of sending them to my coach, and I've profited every month since. Have you ever considered doing that? I can show you some information on what this would look like. Okay, this is how Christina got me. I didn't have $180, but suddenly I did, because she said, well, you can get a discount and you can earn back, and suddenly that 180 was there, right? But it's because she said, well, you can earn your cost back. People don't know that this is there, right? And then no objection. Let's say that Jackie is just all in. She's easy. She wants lift. She wants Shakeology. We're at the close, and I'm going to say, oh my gosh, Jackie, I almost forgot. We're going to be working together. And I actually got this wording from Amanda. I saw she was on earlier. I don't know if she's on anymore, but this is key right here, and I love it. Okay, Jackie, I almost forgot. We are going to be working together for quite a few months. You're setting that tone. It's not a month. It's not 6 weeks of Transform 20. I know your goals. We are going to be working together for quite a few months, and I want you to save the most that you can in the process. So there is a way that for the same price today, you can save $20 a month on your future Shakeology orders, as well as 25% off any additional purchases. It also gives you the chance to earn back when people see your amazing results as well, instead of sending them to me. Are you interested in hearing about this? Okay. Pretty much for the most part, I would say 80% of people want to hear about it, but you have to ask, and no is fine. So I know what you're thinking, and no, this isn't too much, you guys. It's actually really fun. It's so fun. I love having these detailed conversations with people. I love overcoming objections with people. This is what I love about the business. These conversations, and even having these conversations with, I told you I love coaching coaches, like that's what I love the most. And even having, like, diving deep into people's businesses with them, like that is what I love. So people are going to appreciate this, right? You would appreciate somebody really taking the time with you, and people will appreciate it. So you're going to complete their wellness pack, send them the link, have them let you know when it's complete, celebrate with them, be excited, and plug them in immediately so they feel like they have something ready, whether that's a welcome email, or whether it's a welcome video, whether it is a prep group on Facebook that you have that you plug people into right away, whatever that is for you. So the last thing, because then it goes into overcoming objections, and those are all on the key that's in the United Coach Collaborations. But the last thing I'll say is about objections. And when you guys are going through these conversations, it's really important that you are excited. You teach yourself to be excited about objections, because objections are not no's. Objections actually mean that people are interested. They just don't know how they can fit it in. They want to watch the video. They just haven't found the time yet. You're going to tell them they can watch it when they're cooking or whatever, right? So I always like to relate to them, then educate them, and keep engaging. Keep the conversation going. So your feel, felt, found. I like to say relate, educate, engage. Education is key. It is a good thing to be the person to ask the hard questions and make them think. Something that Christina said to me a long time ago, and I say it all the time, is nothing changes if nothing changes. That stuck out to me because that's true. I need to make a change if I want to see a change, right? People like to stay comfortable, but they also really value a relationship with a person that can make them think. Okay? Allow them to know that it's in their hands and you're just giving them the information to make educated decisions. Tie it to their wants that they've expressed to you. Be okay and unattached with where it goes. Be confident in your stance. Do not leave it unanswered. I've actually had a few coaches that say when they get objections, they just don't answer because they don't know what to say. And I'm like, oh my gosh, put them in a three-way with me right now. Inspire them, believe in them. Talk about the 30-day money-back guarantee, and I'm going to leave you with this, with the inspire and the believe in them. How many of you did Transform 20? How many of you have done a Shaun T program? Okay. When you do a Shaun T program, there are multiple times, even 2 minutes in to his workouts, that you question if you're going to be able to do it that day, that you question if you're going to be able to push through, that you question if you're going to be able to not modify this time, that if you're going to up your transformers, that if you're going to max out earlier, right? There's a point in every one of his programs that makes you think and makes you question. But what keeps you going and what makes you proud is when he inspires and believes in you the whole way through. That's why we love him. His workouts are great and they suck at the same time. But we love him because he inspires us and he believes in us along the way. And that's what people need out of you. The whole process, the conversation of learning with them, the whole time inspire them, the whole time believe in them, right? Even if it's no, they're going to come back to you in the end when they are ready. So I'm looking over here. I don't see any questions. Lisa, yes, one-page CRM is awesome. I'll send you a video on it that Amanda made for our team that you can see it. But that's all I have for you guys tonight. Does anybody have any questions?
Amazing, Lindsey. Okay. Thank you so much. I mean, I took notes at Coach Camp, but I took notes again today.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
it was awesome. And I think that you nailed it on everything, because people really do overcomplicate everything. They want to have like a script. They want to know the perfect thing to say. And, I think everything you said was awesome. So
yeah, good.
Does anybody have any questions for Lindsey? All right. I know for myself, like when I heard this at Coach Camp, I was like, okay, I really need to get busy with my invites and not waiting for people to come to me. So this was a really good push for myself. And I hope everyone else got that same feeling as well, that we can do this, that we need to be doing it. And it's fun. Like it really is fun to have those conversations with people and figure out what is holding them back and getting them going. So
yeah. And that's a good point. Really quick, you guys, have fun with it, because Christina even said she was presented with coaching before Christine presented her with it. And she said no, she had no interest in it. But the reason that Christine, I mean, she had, she already knew her a little bit, but it was her excitement around it. So the whole time, like that's really what it is like, be excited in your conversations. I kind of just lost what I was going to say, but I hope that made sense. I completely had a brain fart halfway in. You guys know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that excitement piece that takes people to the next level. If you're just blah, 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 getting through the conversations because I'm just trying to hit Success Club and I'm just trying to get to the end, they can feel that. But if someone else is having the same conversation with them at the same time and they're just pumped up and excited and having fun, then they're going to want to go that route. So be that person.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much. And everybody have a great night. I'll post the recording probably in the morning. So.
All right. Thanks, Lisa. Bye, guys.
Bye.